Welcome to the Hunter's Quest. This is your host, Hunter McWaters, and today I am joined by the lovely Jana Waller. How you doing?
I'm great. It's so great to be here and talking with you again.
I know, it's awesome. Thank you so much for taking some time to sit down and talk. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, anytime. Anytime I get a chance to talk about hunting, I'm in.
Good stuff. Well, if you guys have been watching Sportsman Channel for any length of time, you probably recognize Jana. She's kind of a OG, Sportsman Channel OG or so. You guys ran for what, like 9 seasons on Sportsman, right?
Yep, Skullbound ran 9 seasons on Sportsman's Channel, and then I'm in the 5th season now in Skullbound Chronicles on Carbon.
Cool. And also been a guest on my podcast, the Hunter's Quest podcast. So if you want to hear a little bit more of Jana's backstory and kind of what she's been up to lately, you can go check out that episode. We have a good long conversation. But today we're actually going to be talking about your Montana sheep hunt, right?
Right. Probably in my 30 plus years of big game hunting, one of the most incredible experiences of my life.
Yeah. I mean, most people that kind of have done any researching into Western hunting, you start to realize that sheep is one of those extremely sought after tags that is very hard to come by. I wanted to kind of talk to you about this hunt because, it's kind of relatable to guys who maybe they're starting their journey to come out west to hunt for the first time or looking to do so. And, maybe they have a elk hunt or something planned or a big mule deer hunt planned a few years out. And, that might be their kind of once in a lifetime hunt. So in your unit, there was 2 tag holders that had any sheep or any ram?
That's correct. And I believe they were any sheep. Like
Okay.
They could have even taken a ewe.
And then you had to be a 3/4 curl.
Or better, correct. I had the
better.
mature ram take, yep. And 3/4 curl, you start at the base of the horn as it curls down and draw an angle to it. And it's got to be past that.
So kind of back to, and this can be related to anybody who's, looking into hunting a new species. Like I think it's always a great idea to really do your homework, learn as much as you can about the species, their biology, their life cycle, I think it makes you a better hunter when you get out there. So, but what are some of the things that you did specifically for this hunt to prepare? Because like we said, it's a big opportunity.
First off, I studied the terrain through the Onyx 3D layer, which on your laptop is awesome. It's kind of like you're flying from above. You can actually pinch it and move the terrain around. You can tell how steep it is. You can measure distances. Like, okay, if we happen to go up into this canyon and there's sheep there and I'm on the opposite side, is that 400 yards or is that 1,000 yards? It can be really hard to tell. The 3D layer is perfect for that. So I did a lot of scouting that way. I also talked to a bunch of sheep hunters, and also I'm a member of the Wild Sheep Foundation. So
cool.
There's great resources there. Great people they can hook you up with, to chat with, that have maybe hunted Montana, or videos. And I work out throughout the course of the year just so I can always be in shape and go hunting on the drop of a hat. But did a bit of extra Stairmaster, extra quad builders. I put on my pack and hiked my neighborhood a ton in August with Laura just to really get those back muscles ready.
I've tried a lot, and you just can't replicate that in a gym. Like you just have to put on a heavy backpack and go hike somewhere.
I agree. I don't think there's anything that mimics, because
Not exactly.
You can be on a treadmill and you can have weight in your pack, and it helps if that's all you've got for now. It's great. But your feet are always turning and twisting, and you're catching yourself, and the weight's different when you're going up the hill. And there's nothing better than hitting the mountains for true training.
I know you said like the beginning of the hunt, you guys spent a few days camping in the unit, and I've always found that even if it's like an antelope hunt, for example, where it's not like a backcountry hunt, like you're going to be doing a lot of driving and stuff like that, but if you can get in there and camp, it just gives you a leg up on the competition, because, and just relating to my experience with antelope hunting, a lot of guys will roll into the unit 9:30 because they've been staying in town or whatever. But when you're out there, you just kind of, you're the first one on the glassing knob. You're kind of just living it, and you never know. I mean, someone could walk right next to your camp too. So I always found that's a great way to kind of up your odds. Did you guys do much of that, or were you doing a lot of day hunts, or kind of a combination of both?
In the beginning, like I said, we spent 4 days camping out there, and then it was blocks of time of when we could get down there. And in those first 4 days, I think we had, I might get my numbers wrong, 39 ewes, 2 young rams, no mature rams, and 1 lamb.
Seems like every hunt has kind of a low point, that moment where you're like, I just don't know if I'm going to get this done. So what was that low point for you on this hunt, and what were you feeling?
No questions asked, day number 13, because Heath and I decided to hike way up to the top of a mountain, and we were glassing, and like 2 canyons over, in this one little spot of the hillside where the snow had melted off, I thought I saw 2 sheep, but it was so far away, they could have been deer. I mean, it was really hard to see, and we thought, let's go for it. And so we hiked on the ridge, we got all the way over there, we took our packs off, we're glassing, and I found the exact like big downed tree that I knew they were by, so I knew we were in the right area. And all of a sudden I hear Heath, psst, psst, and he pointed, and over, he's scrambling with his camera. I had my gun and pack set down, and there's a ram and a ewe looking at us about 200 yards away. So I scrambled to get my gun. They duck behind the trees. I'm waiting for him to see if I can see them come back out. They never came out. We ran around, and this side had snow, so we're like, okay, we can find them. There's tracks. There were tracks all over there, deer, elk, sheep. We never saw, and they just disappeared. And like I said, it's heavily timbered. And so that was, to me, definitely the low of the hunt, that we spotted a ram. Where did he go? Why is he alone? And it just was. And the next day, day number 14, we never saw 1 sheep.
Wow. So how are you feeling in that moment?
I was feeling a bit pressure. Not pressure of, I've got to get a great ram. I needed to get a mature ram. I'm not a trophy chaser. Everybody likes to, shoot big things, me included, but I didn't care how, if it was record book. I just wanted I had to take a beautiful mature ram. And so the days were ticking. I was starting to feel the pressure.
Yeah. Kind of relating this back to guys who maybe are coming out west. It's not a sheep hunt necessarily, but it still might be, a trip they've been dreaming, planning for years. And there does come with that this sense of pressure. It's kind of unfortunate because you're taking a positive experience and kind of like adding some pressure that I wish it wasn't there, but it's just part of the equation because, hunting, there's no guarantees. And we, as hunters, we all want to be successful and notch that tag, but you don't want to let it go so far that it ruins your whole hunt. So how did the kind of the pressure of this big important tag affect the dynamic of this hunt versus maybe other hunts you've been on?
That's a great question. It's also why what you just explained is also why I tell people why hunting is so good for kids, because it really reflects life. Really, life's unpredictable. We're all going to experience tough times, difficult times we want to give up. And yet hunting teaches patience and perseverance, hard work, the spectrum of emotions. And every day was special. Even days I didn't see sheep were special, and try to find the positives in them. Hey, I'm in the mountains. Any day in the mountains is a better day than in the office. You're in the mountains, you've got your health. I am one of those people who really do believe everything happens for a reason. If I wasn't able to take out, there's bigger problems in the world,
For sure.
One of the things I've learned and try to carry with me is that, everything does happen for a reason, even tragedy and some things. Sometimes when you look at something and you think, why is this happening to me? Really, it's happening for you, and it turns out to be a gift. And so I try really hard to remember that.
Yeah, it's definitely important. You gotta keep the perspective, like you're saying. Like, remember, this is just a hunt. I'm out here for fun. Because if you are stressing it the entire time and putting all this crazy pressure on yourself, you're not going to enjoy the experience. So just trying to keep the perspective, and I've had to learn this myself, through tough hunts and stuff. But keeping that perspective, enjoying the experience, and just kind of having fun with it. If every hunt was a guarantee, it wouldn't even be fun. We would.
No.
I mean, you would probably quit after like 2 years if you knew you're going to kill something every time.
Oh yeah, exactly. They can't all be like that. And but I always try to live in the moment, live in the day, and be grateful for whatever's thrown at me.
Let's really quick watch this sequence when you get your ram together, and feel free to interject or make comments or anything. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's my gun, and there I am on the other side of that knob.
They always pop out when you're not by your gun, don't they?
I tell ya.
There he is.
And that's exactly in my mind's eye what I saw, because Heath's filming. And I look up and saw that big, beautiful sky-lined ram. And I'm like, oh, see, I am behind the bush right there thinking, do I go for it? Yeah. Yeah.
You just got that big muscular neck, and
They're so cool.
I mean, he's a pretty good ram too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's beautiful. I mean, he's not a book ram, but he's beautiful. I haven't had him officially scored, but I'm really proud of him.
Yeah. So you ran over there.
Yeah. And
did he get curious, or?
I personally think he is looking around for ewes. I think he is in the moment, as you say, as you know, like 2 o'clock bar time. He's looking around for the ladies, and I think which obviously we all know, hunting deer and elk and antelope in the rut, when they're rutting, you know, that's the best time because they're not clearly using all their senses. And so whether he was just rut crazed or didn't know what I was or what, I was thankful that I was able to get away with that much movement.
So you run over there. And that is actual footage of you running over there, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, He's good. He's always got either a DJI in his hand with his other camera or the GoPro running or, he's
I love that. You're like, get the gun.
Yeah, and he's got, you know, this is zoomed in a lot. He had his wide angle lens on. He knew the ram was still in the frame of the big camera. And, you know, that's people who don't film their hunts might not understand the added pressure there. You know, Heath, too. There's a lot of pressure on Heath to just film this.
Oh, yeah. And, okay, so you take the frontal shot, which I do want to ask you about because I shot several animals this year with the frontal shot. I think it's extremely deadly. I was even talking to one of my friends about it, too. It's like, it's kind of like, it's a smaller target, but it's almost like you either hit and they're dead or you miss completely. Whereas when they're broadside, you can hit way far back and gut shoot them or something. I think, you know, as long as you are confident and you're in your effective range, that frontal shot is super deadly.
Yeah, especially with a rifle. I mean, I'm an archer as well. I'm not going to take that shot frontal. I have got friends who have and have had success with it. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, frontal shot. I've taken frontal shots actually on bears, deer, never on an elk. I felt solid. I felt he wasn't moving. It was only 140 yards. Distance plays a lot to me. I'm not going to take a frontal shot much farther than that. I think it was 5 seconds and his feet were in the air. So.
Oh, wow. All right, so here, let's just watch it together real quick.
Okay.
You're trying to get the safety off of those gloves. I'm like, take the gloves off.
I have watched this clip literally thousands of times, and it still makes the hair on my arms raise. It was so incredible. When I looked up and saw him, it felt like a dream. Like, because, you know, we'd been living in this mountain for 17 days, and it was such a gift. It was such a gift to see this ram.
Yeah, and he's all skylined and close, and yeah, and it's such a it's a combination, like you're saying. It's joy. I do believe there's some kind of like ancient reward system in your brain of like you just secured food for the month. You know what I mean? Like that's definitely playing into something. You know, it's a relief, kind of that pressure. You did it. It's kind of you can take a deep breath. It's such an amazing feeling.
Yeah, and I can honestly say that I've been on some amazing adventures in my whole life, but at that moment, Heath comes running over to me, and we're both crying. It was one of the greatest days of hunting I know that I will ever have. It was just incredible to have all the hard work come to fruition, that it was a do-it-yourself hunt, and halfway into it, I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should have spotters out here for me. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe you just second guess yourself, and where are all the rams? Where did they go? What are we doing wrong? And when it all came to fruition and I saw that ram's legs up in the air, like, it was one of the greatest feelings I've ever had. And I feel sorry for people who don't understand what that's like. It's hard to explain. It's really hard to explain. Like, here I am teary-eyed again, and I've talked about it thousands of times. And it was overwhelming joy, and just, we did it. I kept saying that to Heath, we did it. Like I said, when I've got my gloves wrapped around his beautiful big bases, and I said, I'm so glad that we had to work so hard at it. And it's true. You're not glad in the moment when it's hard, but when a hunt comes to fruition, and it was so hard and challenging. And on the flip side of that, I've had hunts go down in day one, and they're exciting, but it's kind of like, now it's over already. It's never as rewarding as when you have to work so hard for it.
Yeah, for sure. The same thing happened on my deer hunt this year. Like, I almost shot a nice one the first day, and man, I'm so glad that it didn't happen until day 5 or 6. Such a great feeling of accomplishment. Whether it's a sheep and you're an experienced Western hunter like yourself, or, like for me a couple years ago, taking my family out on first antelope hunt I'd ever taken people out with me on, and like led the trip, and totally different spectrum there of game species, but that feeling of accomplishment of, I e-scouted this, I figured this out, we came out here, I did this myself, like I used my skills, I learned, I adapted, I figured out. Such an amazing experience that I think more people need to get out and try to get that feeling, on these amazing public lands we have access to.
Absolutely. There's a lot of public land opportunities in a lot of different states that are over-the-counter tags, and I'm trying to encourage people to branch out, maybe get outside of their comfort zone of whitetails, for example.
Yeah, and even if you, whether it's bear or an antelope hunt or something like that, get one of these species where it's easy to get a tag, they're not super expensive, you can do it DIY, and go out there and have fun. And if it's your first hunt and you don't fill a tag, who cares? Like, you had an amazing Western adventure, and your chances of succeeding on the next one are going to be astronomically higher just having that experience that you can build on.
Every single hunt I ever go on, I'm still learning. I feel like I'm still
Totally.
There's never a ceiling. We all still learn and grow and make mistakes. And yeah, every single opportunity out there is only going to make you stronger. Not just in your hunting skills, but I think in life.
100%, yeah. I mean, Western hunting, I'd say it, I don't want to sound cliche, but like, it literally changed my life. Like, it made me a better person, because just getting out there, I don't know, feeding that primal urge, and getting in better shape, and just having to learn new skills and apply them. It probably sounds very strange to a non-hunter, but yeah, it really can be life-changing.
Well, I can certainly say that sometimes I look around and I cannot believe that 5 decades have already gone by in my life. Life is short. It's so short. And if you don't start planning, start taking steps to plan adventures, things you want to do, whether it's a hunt or some other type of hiking, skydiving, whatever type of adventure, life is short, and you've got to take the steps to kind of plan them. And nowadays, with the technology that we have, whether it's Onyx, mapping systems, Garmin's, whatever, it's not like you have to, our dad's gotten out the old map and rolling them across the hood of your truck and trying to figure out where you're going. There's tools now that make public land hunting so much easier. There's tools online to help you put in for those tags in out of state. Is that a good unit? What are my draw odds there? There are so many resources to help you plan your own out of state hunt that I would just tell people to start taking those steps, either putting in for the tags or checking into states that are over the counter, and then start doing your research and plan it, make it happen, do it. There's really no reason why you can't in today's day and age. If it's a budget issue, then put aside a little bit every single month. Maybe start a different account in your bank and put a little bit of over there till that adds up to where you can go. But it's definitely achievable for anybody.
For sure. And just getting out of your comfort zone will just
Yeah.
not only make you a better hunter, but a better person, I think.
Absolutely. There are so many skills in hunting that translate to real life.
100%. Well, thanks again, Jana. This has been really fun talking to you. I hope we can, this is our second time talking. We haven't actually met in person yet, but hopefully soon we can meet up. I appreciate you coming on the show today.
Oh, it's been my pleasure, and hopefully, our paths hopefully will cross soon.
I'm sure they will. Thanks again, Jana.